iOS and Android.
Now at 5, election results in Goodman, Missouri have voters wondering what happens when one candidate wins 2 offices. Plus, a new partnership aims to give Franklin Tech students a full ride pathway into a tech career at Pitt State. And
President Trump puts his sweeping tariffs on pause for most countries, but escalates his trade war with China. I'm Erica Brown at the White House with more on the president's reversal and how the stock market is responding.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Missouri's governor signs a law that supporters say will strengthen the state's energy infrastructure and opponents say could increase your bills. This is KOIM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The bill signed by Governor Mike Kehoe today covers a wide range of electric utilities issues. One aspect of the law will allow utility companies to charge customers for the construction of new electric generating plants, potentially raising electric rates across the state. The Consumers Council for Missouri had estimated that electric customers could face an additional $1,100 in annual charges under the legislation. However, the governor says the law is a major step forward in strengthening Missouri's energy infrastructure and supporting long-term economic development. It's a race that might have some Goodman, Missouri voters kind of confused. J.R. Fisher and Clay Sexton ran against each other for 2 different positions, mayor and South Ward alderman. Sexton won both races. We spoke to the Missouri Secretary of State's office, who says if the same candidate wins both positions, typically the position that candidate didn't want would be left open as a vacancy. They say an appointment to that position could be made, and it didn't have to be the runner-up. Sexton says he's taking the office of mayor.
Once the other candidate had signed up for both and no one else signed up for either or, I went ahead and signed up for both after making sure that it was legal because I had the same questions.
The McDonald County Clerk's Office will provide the City of Goodman with the results in a letter after their verification board verifies and certifies them on Monday. Once received, it's at the discretion of the City of Goodman to determine how to proceed. Pittsburgh State University and Franklin Technology Center have announced a new partnership to support future technology professionals. Starting in 2026, 10 Franklin Tech students each year will receive full tuition and fees to attend PSU's Crossland College of Technology. The scholarships are renewable for 2 or 4 years, depending on the student's program. Partnership also includes ongoing support, events, and promotional resources to encourage student success.
I think first was the strength and excellence of both of the programs here at FTC in the technical programs and their alignment with other excellence that's happening at Pittsburgh State. And to be able to use those strengths to serve students in their education and then their transition into careers really made the most sense.
School leaders say this collaboration is designed to build a stronger, more affordable pathway into tech careers. Boy, nice weather out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yes, turned out to be a beautiful Wednesday for us today. Much warmer than what we saw yesterday. Most of us are sitting mid to upper 70s, 77 in Joplin, 75 in Pittsburgh. We have some 80s popping up. Miami, Chanute sitting at 80. Nowata is checking in at 80 degrees. If you want to get outside, evening hours look fantastic. 70s, 60s, 50s. We'll only dip back near 50 once again later on tonight. Weak little wave passing to our northeast, so a couple little showers central eastern Missouri will not affect us, but we are going to see a few clouds rotating through. It's also been windy. We've had these southwesterly winds now switching to our northwest with a weak little cold front that is going to shift through later on tonight. And the winds are going to stick around a bit as well. We'll look at the rest of the week here in a bit.
Catch in a few. Stocks surged this afternoon after President Trump announced a 90-day pause on his reciprocal tariffs, except for China. Erica Brown looks at the announcement and reaction.
Hours after President Trump's sweeping reciprocal tariffs went into effect, he announced on social media a 90-day pause for trade partners except China.
I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate because I told him if you retaliate, we're going to double it.
Stocks surged with the news even as the president hiked tariffs on Chinese imports, pushing them to 125% after Beijing raised its retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods to 84%.
China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it.
The president said he authorized a pause and moved tariffs back to an across-the-board 10% after hearing from more than 75 countries who want to negotiate trade deals.
We have just been overwhelmed by the response from mostly our allies who want to come and negotiate in good faith.
Trump's announcement comes after the European Union hit back with new retaliatory tariffs on more than $20 billion of U.S. goods.
Donald Trump is feeling the heat from Democrats and across America about how bad these tariffs are. He is reeling, he is retreating, and that is a good thing.
The White House says Trump's reversal today was not influenced by the stock market's volatility, saying dozens of countries are now pushing for new trade negotiations, which was the president's strategy all along. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
It's unclear what will happen after the 90-day period concludes while countries negotiate with the Trump administration. It's also affecting people in the 4 states. We spoke to people who are keeping an eye on what's happening with prices and more because of the tariffs. They think it's going to be a waiting game to see the full impacts.
I believe we ought to do something radical right now. And if that means tariffs and I'm inconvenienced for a minute, then I am. I've lived through harder times than where we are right now, and so I believe that we just have to wait out the short term to see what will happen in the long run.
I think his goal is to try to reshore manufacturing jobs, but I think he's misguided in thinking that Americans are good at producing everything, and we're not.
Although neither person we talked with totally opposes tariffs, they have differing opinions on how the tariffs could ultimately impact others. Still ahead, protecting our children from long-term symptoms.
I'm Danya Backus with a look at how concussion care for kids has changed and why an early diagnosis is key to recovery.
Plus, HHS Secretary Kennedy talks with CBS News about the spread of measles. Those stories next in Health Watch.
You're getting the best deal. Don't miss the spring semi-annual sale only at Ashley.
Topping today's Health Watch, the latest measles outbreak in this country has now topped 600 cases in 23 states, including the first case reported in Hawaii. Most of them have been in Texas, where 2 unvaccinated children have died. A report from the KDHE today shows a total of 32 cases in Kansas. The last report, those were all in the southwestern portion of the state. All remain there as of yesterday. Oklahoma had 10 reported cases. 8 of those were confirmed cases. 2 were considered probable. Robert Kennedy Jr. sat down exclusively with CBS News chief medical correspondent Dr. John LaPook for his first interview on TV since becoming Health and Human Services Secretary. He says he's encouraging people to get vaccinated against measles. A change of heart for Kennedy, who once wrote that measles vaccines are unnecessary and risky.
You're saying that. What's the position philosophically of the federal government in terms of
public health? Federal government's position, my position is people should get the measles vaccine, but the government should not be mandating
Understand.
those.
You can see more of Dr. LaPook's exclusive interview with Kennedy tonight on the CBS Evening News. The standard of care could be changing when it comes to treating a child with a concussion. Danya Backus shows us why some doctors are encouraging patients to return to normal routines sooner rather than later.
High school senior Aishwarya is an athlete, captain of the basketball team, plays flag football, lacrosse, and runs track.
I don't quite remember the moment of the collision, but I remember the aftermath pretty clearly.
She suffered 2 concussions in 5 days, the worst when she collided with another football player.
The second I stood up, my head was still hurting, the lights were really bright. I was sensitive to the noise in the stadium.
Nearly 2 million young athletes experience concussions each year. Aishwarya was initially told to rest in a dark room with minimal physical and mental activity. Outdated guidance, according to sports medicine specialist Dr. Jonathan Santana.
After about 48 hours, we do want them getting back into their activities of daily living. So that usually includes going to school. And that's probably the hardest thing for many of these kids to do because school can be the most demanding on the brain.
Children's Hospital Los Angeles is one of 6 hospitals nationwide studying what factors impact quality of life or predict how long concussion symptoms will last for student athletes.
Those that get back into daily activities and activities of daily living tend to have better outcomes.
Recent studies show the longer kids stay out of school after a concussion, the harder the recovery. Dr. Santana says giving them a modified workload, extra time to turn in assignments, and light aerobic activity like walking is key.
He told me you can't limit yourself, you have to go back to your life, you have to build your confidence up again.
Aishwarya says her recovery took off after seeing Dr. Santana. She was cleared to return to sports after 3 months and recently played in her league's All-Star game. Danya Backus, CBS News, Santa Clarita, California.
Research also shows kids with concussion symptoms lasting longer than 28 days are more likely to have anxiety and depression. And that is looked at today's health news a little bit later, our Pet Vet On Call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Judek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we've got a fun fact about wolf spiders.
Plus, our temperature is staying fairly nice the next couple days. We're going to look at that coming up.
The Royals.
Well, it turned out to be a beautiful Wednesday for us today. Quite a bit of sunshine. Windy, yes, but temperatures great. Mid to upper 70s for highs. Great shot of our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort Indigo just outside of Seneca, Missouri. You can see those kind of thin, high-level cirrus clouds outside. Temperatures for the evening hours slide back through the 70s, 60s, 50s. We'll only bottom out low to mid 50s, so it's going to be a great spring evening. And that's what we're seeing right now. You can see really mid 70s, southwestern Missouri, Arkansas, and then upper 70s to near 80 across Oklahoma and also parts of Kansas. Here's 7th. Here's range line sitting at 77. Those west-southwesterly winds sustained 15 to 20, but we've been getting some gusts a little bit higher than that. Now the winds are going to come down this evening as a little weak front works through, and then behind the front, kind of breezy again tomorrow. Gusts 25 upwards to 30 miles per hour at times, and then by Friday a little breezy but not bad across the region. Have some clouds kind of shooting through central Missouri, a few little showers central Missouri into eastern Missouri heading away from us. All we are seeing are just some clouds. A little back wave which could produce a sprinkle across the region late tonight, but in general we are staying pretty dry as we go through the next few days. Let me walk you through time again. Couple little sprinkles shooting across our northeastern counties. And then we start the day near 50, so a pretty good start. A little bit cooler tomorrow, not much, just because we have that weak front rolling through. Upper 60s to near 70 by noon. I think most of us 72, 73, maybe 74 degrees. So another fantastic day across the region. Tomorrow night, pretty much clear skies, a little bit cooler. We drop back near 40, but we stay above that frost level, which is always good news. And then on Friday, a little bit cooler, but still not bad. I think most of us 63, 64 degrees. We're going to have a light northerly wind, and then we'll back down near 40 again as we kick off the weekend. And then we're going to see a nice little warm up as we go into Saturday and Sunday. All right, 50 to start, 70 by noon. High temp on your Thursday, 73 degrees. And if we look a little bit down the road, you can see these couple weak waves that are pushing through. We still have this northerly flow heading into the weekend. Then we get a nice little ridge of high pressure. Storm system to our north late in the weekend. It's not really going to affect us very much. Nice temperatures through the beginning of next week, and then finally we start to see some storm systems dropping in. This is going to give us returning chances for showers and thunderstorms late Wednesday into next Thursday. Until then, not a whole bunch going on. Let's look at your weekend. Saturday looks pretty good. Upper 60s to lower 70s. Sunday, no complaints. Very similar to today. Upper 70s to near 80 degrees by the time we head into Sunday afternoon. 73 on your Thursday. 64 on Friday. 70 Saturday. 81 on Sunday. It will be breezy, and then we'll watch for some thunderstorm chances picking up by the middle of next week.
Say it will be breezy. You mean like throughout that entire period?
Just Sunday. Saturday looks fine.
Okay, good. I might want to do some fishing.
There you go.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up, a new Better Business Bureau study reveals how AI and the dark web are fueling a surge in identity theft schemes. Topping today's Consumer Watch, a new BBB study shows identity theft is evolving with the rise of AI tools and dark web activity. Since 2021, more than 16,000 reports have been filed through the BBB scam tracker, with monetary losses on the rise. The regional head of the Bureau tells us scammers are using stolen personal information to create fake identities and carry out more fraud.
One of, they think, the most important things to come out of this new study is the importance of good cyber hygiene. You have to be proactive in taking care of your data. For example, you want a long and strong password, but it's not enough. You need to turn on multi-factor authentication anywhere you can. It's not enough, although you should be monitoring your credit reports.
The BBB warns consumers to monitor accounts, use strong passwords, and protect sensitive data. A 64-year-old New Yorker believes he was switched at birth. He found out through the website Ancestry.com. Kevin McMahon says he grew up feeling unloved. He did not resemble his siblings and says he was neglected and abused. Looking for answers, he took a DNA test, and the results found he was not biologically related to his family. His attorney says McMahon and another baby with the same last name were born just hours apart at New York's Jamaica Hospital. McMahon believes he went home with the wrong parents.
They made one calamitous mistake and it just changed the entire course of my life. I feel I could have shared so much with my parents, with my birth parents, but I didn't get to do that.
McMahon is now suing Jamaica Hospital, which says no comment. Our Pet Vet on Call up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, how the world is reacting to President Trump's decision to halt or at least postpone those tariff hikes. Then on KOAM News at 6, authorities say they finally identified the victim in a 1973 Kansas murder case. Plus, a Pittsburgh high school student signs with MIT, a student with ties to KOAM, and Missouri Southern Pitt State. They compete on the baseball field. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. As weather warms in the spring, spiders that have been hidden or dormant during the winter months, they become more active. You might think they're kind of creepy. Yeah, well, maybe you should reconsider. Today, our Pet Vet on Call has a fun fact for us about wolf spiders.
Wolf spiders actually hunt and eat brown recluse, cockroaches, crickets, beetles, and silverfish, all those nasty, horrible creatures that infest our home. So if you can kind of get past the creepiness, you might allow that wolf spider to live in your house as a pet. But if you don't, at the very least, don't kill it, take it outside because they're really good for us to have around.
You heard it there. We invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, you just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday right here, KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. All right, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. Look at this. From the Joplin Humane Society, we've chosen this male husky poodle mix, a puppy named Ernie. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we have an adult female chocolate lab pointer mix. The society says she's microchipped, loves people, loves playing with her tug toy in the park. Her name is Juice. I guess that's how you would pronounce that. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? Some nice weather to get outside with the pet stuff.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Fantastic evening. Tomorrow looks great. Still windy, 73, 64 Friday. Warming up over the weekend.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.